Welcome to the V. Lenore Show. Here we will discuss lifestyle, beauty, celebrity gossip, and current events in our own way, my way, V style. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Well, hello, lovers. It's Friday night, and I'm here at the V. Lenore Show, and I'm your host, V. Lenore. How are y'all tonight? How is everybody doing on tonight? First and foremost, let me just say this. I know it's looking kind of pixelated to me. Let me look for myself. Hold on, y'all. I just want to make sure because it looks very grainy on my end. I think it's my camera. Guess it's not too bad. Okay. Anywho, how are y'all doing today? I hope everyone is wonderful. I don't know, but it feels like, I don't know, Friday the 13th. It's giving Friday the 13th today. Okay. I'm just saying, it feels like it. Now, I don't know what that means really, because I really ain't scared of no Friday the 13th. But it has been one of them days. Let me just say that. Who is here? Hi, Jackson Tabasco. Hey, Char Willie. Who else? Hey, Leo lady. How are you? 3 minutes. Inmates. Peep Sonia. Hey, Tam Tam. How are you? Hey, Diva Ray. Hey, it's the Rocks. Hellcat. Blue Bear. Zenso. Hi, Shell. Hey, Shell loves. How is you? Hey, BK. How are you? Let's see who else. T gonna say it if it has to be said. I hope everybody is doing well on this Friday night. It has been one of them days, child. I ain't been able to get it together all day. Hey, Life Unleashed. I'm hungry. I've been fighting a headache all day. Had a conference, actually a summit that I was at earlier. And I'll upload a story for that. Hey, Lexi, the law nerd. Hi, not Green Waters. No, it can't be Green Waters. It has to be the Green Waters. Hello. Hi, Green Waters. How are you? Let's see. Who else? My name is Not Girl. How you doing? Okay, y'all. So the other day I did an interview. What night was that? Monday night I did an interview. And it was with Jerron Hurt, who is the father of the Hurt twins. Now, some of y'all had said that you weren't familiar with the Hurt twins. So I actually didn't think of this until I just went live. But if part of me feels like, let me see if I can bring them up. They are so cute, y'all. These little boys are so cute. Well, you see them on the thumbnail of this video, but I just want to, I'm sitting over here looking at, so the mama, she's out here. Maybe I'll pull up this one. This looks like a short of the boys. Okay, yeah, this is them. Okay, so let's look at this real quick, and then I'll get into that interview, what I feel is a response to our interview, and some things that I've learned since the interview. How about that? Okay, so let's just look at this because it's a short. It's so yeah, let me just share my screen, and you guys can see these cuties. They are cute to death. Okay. One seems to be a little more mischievous than the other. One seems to be more sensitive than the other. And you get to see that. Hey, Faith is a substance. Susie 24 looks life. Everybody coming in. Hope everyone is well. Hi, Denise Marie. Okay. All right. So let's play this real quick. You know what? I've never tried to share a short before. I was hoping it would be bigger than this, but I guess it's not. Let me see. Oh, darn it. Oh, well, wait. Wait, what the hell? What did I do? Okay.
Listen to people. I got you, Daddy got you, Papa. I just replied to get those tubes in me. What are tubes? To the floor down my ears. Ow! It sucks it out. Sure, it's good.
Oh,
I got you.
so
Listen to people. I got you, Daddy got you, Papa. I just replied to get those tubes in me. What are tubes? To the floor down my ears. Ow! It sucks it out. Sure, it's good.
oh, they cute. They so cute, y'all. So who is in here? Who's that? Oh, Bible Lady. What you say? Bible Lady says, I have twins, 27 years old, and one is definitely more sensitive than the other. Yeah, so I feel like they get into it, and one is always emotional, not always. I don't want to make it sound like that. It's just that when I've seen them, like if they've had some sort of dispute or whatever, it always seems like there's one in particular who's the perpetrator and one's the victim. Hey, Indigo Podcast. Hey, girl. Hey. So I just and mind you, I believe the one that is the most, or the less sensitive, is Jerron Jr. Now, is that a, I'm just, it just seems like, I could be wrong, but it seems like Jerron Jr. is usually the one that's in trouble. Okay, that's what it looked like. Oh, thanks, Indigo. Thank you, honey. So anywho, uh, they are super cute, right? So Monday, I had an interview with the twins' father, and that is Geron Sr. And he came on because, and let me just give you a little recap. So in March of this year, I think it was the end of March, he said 26th, 27th of March, the boys were removed from his home. The father, Jerron Hurt, it appeared that he had sole custody. Okay. So he had custody. He had, I guess, been in the kids' lives all of their life. What I have learned, or at least the mother's story, is that she was kicked out of the house, she and her older child. When the boys were a year and a half, the mother was kicked out of the home with her older child, who was 7 at the time, and that son is not with Geron Sr. Okay, so the lady, when they got together, she already had one kid, one young boy. So I'm guessing he must have been like 5 or 5.5 or what have you. And they start dating. She gets pregnant, and look, maybe it's not dating. Maybe I'm not referring to it the right way. But they hooked up because he's saying that it wasn't a relationship. Okay. That's what he's saying. I don't know. Okay. But they hooked up. She gets pregnant. She's pregnant with twins. While she's pregnant, he invites her to move in. And then a year and a half later, maybe a little longer, it could have been 2 years because the boys were a year and a half. I don't know, when she moved in, how far along she was when she moved in. But when the kids were a year and a half, the mother says she was kicked out at 4 a.m. She and her 7-year-old were kicked out. The twins stayed in the home with the father. Okay. Now, hey, love to shop. Yeah, look, I got to love to shop. I gotta follow through. I gotta look. I got to. Now, I hope he follows through because I wouldn't be opposed to him coming back and addressing whatever he hears me say, whether it's what he heard me say the other day if he was around or today. Okay. Because I wasn't there. I can't say what happened or not. Right. But I got an opinion based upon the information I have. And I don't look, all I can tell you is what I've learned. All right. So this is it. So my understanding is she was asked to leave the home at 4 a.m. So that sounds like there was a whole blow up, right? There's a blow up of some sort. Now, he says that she wasn't kicked out at 4 a.m. She says she left at 11 o'clock p.m. I don't care if it was 11 or 4 a.m. If she and her 7-year-old were kicked out the house, right? Now, some have questioned, well, why would a mother leave her sons there? Well, I don't know what happened that night. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what else she experienced, but from the text messages that I read, it sounds like there had been some blow-ups. There had been some situations that happened in the home prior to that night. That's inferred in the text messages that we read. Okay. Please hit the like button, y'all. Please. Thank you. Okay. So it sounds like something happened. Now, she's saying that she experienced some level of abuse. And he's saying that there was no abuse. He's saying that her previous boyfriends, the boyfriends she's had since she left the home, have been abusive. And he says that one of his boys were abused too. Now, I don't know when that was or at what point that happened and how much time she was spending. He made it sound like she wasn't even seeing the boys, but maybe once a month or every couple of months. I mean, he made it sound like it wasn't a lot. She wasn't seeing them a lot once she left the house. And yet and still, he says that one of her boyfriends abused the boys. So I'm not really sure how much of that is true or not true. Okay. So I'm not saying anybody's lying because somebody is. Okay. But I don't know either one of these people and I wasn't there. So I can't say who's not telling the truth here because one is saying they were kicked out. The other person saying she left. Somebody's saying she was kicked out at 4 a.m. He says she left at 11 p.m. He says, why would a mother leave her boys behind, her twins behind? Would you as a mother do that? And I said to him, it would depend on the circumstances. See, if she had been abused, or maybe it was going to be a problem to get all the kids packed up and out the door or what have you. Maybe she knew he wouldn't harm her twins, but she and her oldest child had to get out immediately, and she was going to figure the rest out. I don't know, and I'm not judging it because I don't know what the circumstances are. And 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 that's what I have to say about it. I think a lot of us will say, "Oh, I would never leave my kids," but you don't know. We don't know the circumstances, right? We were not there. We have no idea what this mother was thinking, and maybe the mother just needed to do what she needed to do in that moment so that she could be in a better position to get her kid to get the twins. And maybe it was just easier for her to move and shake. Not to mention, we're talking about someone who doesn't have a car and who doesn't have a driver's license. So now she's got to depend on somebody else to get her, or she has to call an Uber, a taxi, whatever it is. Who knows what the hell happened? Okay, who knows? I don't know. But I'm not going to judge her for leaving the twins with their father, especially if she feels like the kids are safe with him and she knows that she can't leave her oldest child there or doesn't want to for whatever reason. Who knows, right? So since they had been 1.5, they're now 6. He had been raising them alone. But in March, they were removed from his home. Okay. They were removed from his home, and he was only allotted 1 day a week to visit for 1 hour. So 1 day for 1 hour of that day, and that hour had to be supervised. Now, he feels, his story is that honestly, I'm not really clear on why he feels that Child Protective Services removed the kids. Their determination was they felt that the kids had been exploited, right? And when he was on the show, he said specifically that he thought that exploitation involves some sort of assault, some sort of molestation. Okay. And that's the only time I'm saying that word. Okay. That right there. Okay. But that's not what exploitation means only. It can be just simply using the kids. And look, I'm going to use some street slang now. Okay. Pimping kids so you don't have to work, right? Pimping the kids to earn a living to take care of your expenses. Now, I'm not saying man was pimping his kids. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that that's what it sounds like they're saying. Okay. From what I understand, he hasn't worked since the pandemic, because at the time of the pandemic, he was laid off like many people were. And it was during that time, I believe, is when he launched the channel. And here he is, this single dad. He's putting out, these videos of these cutie pies. Okay. All right. Now, he was only given 1 day a week for 1 hour out of that week. Now, his story also is that A, he wasn't exploiting his kids, and B, that he was just providing them with a great home and great schooling, and that these videos are, helping to provide a living for, not even helping. They were providing the living. Okay. He probably was on unemployment for a little while, right? But these videos, their channels really took off. They're big on Facebook. He has over 1 million subscribers on Facebook alone. And over here on YouTube, he has about 170,000 subscribers on YouTube. And I didn't even check Instagram at this point, right? So that's 3 platforms that we know of that are monetized. Ain't mad at it. Not mad at it at all. Now, here's the thing. Now, there are a lot of family channels out here. There are a lot of families that do videos for their, about their families, about their kids, and I don't have a problem with it. But for whatever reason, it sounds to me like the mother may not have wanted them on social media. That might be the first thing. And then two, from what I have learned, now I can't substantiate any of this. I don't know it to be true. Allegedly, okay, I am saying allegedly. What I have heard was that he wasn't working, but because of these channels really taking off, that they moved into 3 different homes and they got bigger and bigger and bigger, right? He mentioned that when the caseworker from CPS came to the home to initially come and investigate, they saw a Range Rover, and he says it was an older Range Rover, and he feels that it's because of they saw the Range Rover that's why they're saying he exploited the kids. All right. Now, he continued to say he didn't want to talk negatively about the mother, yet and still, everything he said was negative towards the mother. He didn't say anything positive about the mother. And I didn't hear him say that she was a bad mother. Okay. I never heard him say she was a bad mother, but he said that she was in bad situations and that since she's moved out the house, she's been with 3 different men that she's moved in with these kids, and she doesn't have a driver's license. Okay. So it sounds like the young lady and she's in her, I think he said late 30s. It sounds like the young lady probably has some self-esteem issues. I don't know her. Okay. So, ma'am, Miss Lady, I am sorry. I don't know you. Okay. But if those little things are true, that here you are and you're in these different relationships, and you've got, because once she left the house, he says she got pregnant a month after she moved out of his home into the next guy's home. She got pregnant, and I do know that she has a young baby. Okay, so she has a younger child, younger than the twins, and she had the older child, older than the twins, right? So if that is the case, that she has bounced like that, there's probably something that she's had to deal with in her own life. Who knows what type of trauma maybe she's dealt with, or who knows why she doesn't feel confident enough to make better decisions and to not put her kids in these situations too. But again, I don't know. Okay. I have no idea. So I'm hoping that she is working on herself and preparing her own way so that she doesn't have to depend on men. Because in my eyes, one of the reasons why she probably has, if what he says is true, let's just take him for his word that she has had a couple of different boyfriends since she left their home or his home and moved in with these guys. To me, it sounds like she needs help. Like she feels dependent upon other people. And I think that's sad if that's the case, right? So I hope she's, taking control of her own situation and able to, feel independent enough and secure enough to raise her kids on her own if she has to. Okay. Now, again, let's go back. He says that the kids were removed from the home. He had been allotted 1 day a week, 1 hour out of that day, and it had to be supervised. To me, that speaks volumes, because what I do know about CPS is while CPS may lean towards, and the courts may lean towards a mother, the truth of the matter is these kids have been with him the entire time. And if he was a good father and he wasn't exploiting the kids, right? And the kids were safe and doing well in school and happy, I find it hard to believe that they would remove those kids from that situation like that and then put them with the mother and only allow this man an hour a week supervised. I'm sorry. I don't believe it. And the reason why I don't believe it is I mentioned before that my ex-boyfriend works for Children's Services. Okay. He was a caseworker. He had boatloads of kids like that were on his roster, if you will, right? He had about 50 kids at one time. One thing he would always tell me, they don't want to remove a kid from the home. They don't want to do that. They don't. They will try anything and everything possible to keep the child from or the children from being snatched from their home. Okay? Because that's the home they know. Okay? So the fact that he only got 1 hour a week supervised makes me think there's more to this story. Or let's say it is all about exploitation and they feel as if these kids are being forced to work for their lifestyle. And my question to him was, where is the money? Like, is there a savings for the kids? Is there a trust set up for the kids? I mean, honestly, if the money no sooner is coming in, it's turning around and it's going back out, and you're not working, then that does look like exploitation to some degree. If you ask me, just the bare minimum information I have tells me, in my opinion, that maybe they were being exploited. Because here's the other thing. What I have learned, allegedly, okay, let me say that again. Allegedly. I don't know this to be the case for sure. But allegedly, all right, the 1 hour supervision has been removed. Remember, he said that something's about to change, that the visitation is about to change, but he didn't say how. A source mentioned to me that he doesn't get any anymore. Now, I don't know if that's true, but they're saying that the 1 hour is gone, that he no longer has visitation. Okay. Now, I don't know if that's true. I also was told that, okay, so the 1 hour visitation is gone. Here, hold on. Let me look at something because I just want to make sure I'm telling this correctly. Okay. I don't know why they would remove the visitation. Now, I was told that he was supposed to take those social media sites down. Okay. I remember, and this took me back to, I thought about this. If y'all recall when Cardi B and Tasha K had their situation, and Tasha would not take that interview down with Star Marie. She wouldn't take it down. And when they asked her during the trial why she didn't take it down, she was like, well, because that's how we get paid. Like, that's where a good amount of money comes from, because that video did so well. It just blew up, right? So that's what makes me think the reason why the social media pages have not come down is because as soon as you do that, as soon as you take them down, you're not going to make any money. I know from YouTube alone, when you private videos, let's say, I have a video like this video we're doing right now. If I decide, like, let's say I get 50,000 views on this video right here. All right. If I take this video and put it on private and it had 50,000 views, I'm not going to get any more money from that video. I won't get any residual income. I won't get anything. So when you have 1 million subscribers over here and damn near 200,000 subscribers over there, and I don't know how many on Instagram, and all of these platforms are monetized, 9 times out of 10, that's a hard thing to do when you don't have a job, and that's where your income is coming from. Some believe that the reason why he has to well, hold on, let me just look at the chat too for a second. Okay, wait a minute, hold on, because I saw something earlier and I don't want to get away from this. Here we go. So hey, just Ashar, you said I don't want to talk bad about their mother when asked a question that summarized those holes in the story. Yeah. Every time he couldn't explain certain things, and his response to why he couldn't explain it is because he didn't want to talk bad about the mother. But the truth is, he didn't have anything positive to say about the mother. Not at all. Honestly, I honestly didn't hear one positive thing about her, other than she's the mother of my twins. Outside of that, I didn't hear nothing positive, because what I heard was she didn't have a degree. She didn't have a driver's license. She possibly didn't have a job. I don't know about that part, but I'm guessing she probably didn't have a job. What else did he say about that? She goes from man to man to man, that she was pregnant. She had a baby before he got with her. He wouldn't tell me how long they were together when she got pregnant, but it sounds like it was short. He says it wasn't his woman, and that when she left the house, she moved straight into a home with an ex-coworker, but she got pregnant by him. Like, all of these things he told us about her, but he didn't want to talk bad about it. Okay. Now I'm just saying what I'm saying. Okay. Let me see. Would you say, just Asher, I'm going to watch it again to see the eyes. What they saying about his eyes, y'all? Y'all were mean too, by the way. He did mention, yes, he did repeat that about his GoFundMe, because here's what I'm thinking. If you have to take those sites down and all of that income goes away, but the sites are not down. Now that's the other thing. The sites are not down. They're still up. So I don't know if, because he didn't do what he was supposed to do, is that why visitation's gone away? If it's gone away, because again, I don't know that it did, but that's what I was told, allegedly. Okay, we're right there. Allegedly. Everything I'm saying is allegedly, because I don't know these people. Okay. And I wasn't in their house, so I can't say for sure. But if that is the case, and they've been removed, and now he's got to figure out what to do next, I think he's pivoting, right? Because now he's talking about he's an advocate, and that he's not just advocating for himself, he's advocating for other dads. And that's why he's putting this out here about the GoFundMe. Because he also said he spent $100,000 on the custody battle, and he also had to pay for the court-appointed lawyer for the kids. Okay. So he is probably trying to recoup and trying to pivot. And if you take these sites down, he doesn't have the audience and he doesn't have the real platform to really push his story. Okay. So there's that. Let me see what else is being said in here. Hey, Indigo. So what'd you say? It sounds like he kicked her out and said the twins have to stay. But you're right. We don't know the circumstances. So there is his story, her story, and the truth. And I agree with that. I agree with that. But he says, I asked him, was there any abuse? Did you all ever have any physical altercations? He told me no. But then as time went on, he told us that the neighbors saw her beating him upside his head the night she left. So that's an altercation. And even though someone may have seen her hitting him upside the head, we don't know what happened inside the house. We don't know what caused the woman to respond the way she did. I don't know. I don't know. But he also said his mama is the neighbor. He got family on the street. He got a sister 4 miles away. And she didn't have any family. So I feel like this woman was in a desperate situation. And I'm not saying that Mr. Hurt is an abuser. I'm not saying that because I don't know that to be the case. But what I am saying is that maybe she felt intimidated and could not figure out how to take all the kids at one time. That's just my opinion. I don't know. But I'm not going to demonize her because she had to leave that night and didn't take all of the children. Because based upon the sources that I've heard from, that woman had been trying to see her kids. She had been trying to reach out to him. He wasn't being responsive. Again, this is allegedly that he wasn't allowing her to be around. She felt as if the story or the narrative that was out there about her parenting or her not being in their life, that was false and that he was creating this narrative. I will also say that her text messages to me kind of back up what the parts that I'm piecing together. Those text messages seem to back that up. Her text messages specifically said, I can't come back there. The kids have seen too much. My son, basically, I'm paraphrasing. My son was traumatized from being put out at night or morning or whatever the hell when it was. Okay. All of that. And she's like, I can't do it because he was saying you should really think about coming back here. Now not heard, but I saw in the chat, when I was watching the replay of the interview, some people were in the chat saying, well, if he's saying, I think you should consider coming back, it sounds like she left on her own. No, it doesn't necessarily mean that. He could have been hot and mad and angry in the moment, kicked her out. And then days later, maybe the boys are crying and upset and don't know where their mom is and they're depressed. And then maybe he said, okay, look, come on back. And she was probably like, no, I can't. And it sounds like the text message that I did see, that that wasn't the first time he probably has suggested she come back. Because just by saying, I think you really should think about coming back, I feel like that in and of itself to me makes me believe that they had a previous conversation after she left, and that she just felt like she couldn't do it. Now, some have said, well, why would he ask her to come back? Well, it's easier on him if she does. Hell, 1 kid is a lot of work. 2, absolutely a lot of work. All right. Now, mothers do it all the damn time. Okay. Mothers of all races, of all ages, who have become single mothers have figured it out. Right. But when a man has their children, let me tell you something. This is what I do know. When a man is the single parent, oh, they get a lot of help. Okay. Because those females in his life are going to step up. Those girlfriends that he brings into his life, they're going to step up. Sometimes a man will date women or certain women because they want somebody to help cook and clean and do all the shit that we have to do by ourselves when we're the single parent. Now, I don't want to make this sound like I'm saying that, there aren't any good dads out there. I think a good dad can still be a good dad and have help. Hell, I was a single mom. I had a lot of help. Okay. I had a lot of help. No doubt about it. I did. Okay. Both of my parents were retired. And I had a lot of help. I had all their support, both grandparents, sets of grandparents. I mean, everybody was loving on my kids. So I had a lot of help. But for a man, everybody helps that man. Okay. And so it does benefit him to have the kids in the house. Now, he also mentioned that he would still welcome them in the house. And some have said, well, that's because of course he would, because if they're not in his house, he can't film with them, right? Now, this, Geron, I'm saying that this is what the people say, and they have points. And because you're unwilling to share a lot of details about what was really going on in your relationship, we're going to speculate. Okay. We're going to speculate. He continued to say that, oh, I'm looking for gossip. No, I'm looking for the truth. I thought you came for an interview because you want to tell the truth, and the truth needs to get out, and it's unfair how you're being treated. Now that's the narrative. So if that's the narrative, I'm asking what happened here and there, because there are gaps. And every time I had a really good question, it was, I don't want to talk bad about their mother. But as I mentioned, everything he said was negative about the mother. And even though she has 2 children that aren't his at this point, he's saying, I would love that, they can come back now. And she's saying, nah, I'm good. Okay. So now they're saying allegedly that the 1-hour visitation is gone. Now, he said while he was here, though, that the visitation is changing. It's about to change. But I thought he meant for the better. And maybe he's still keeping hope alive. But I think he's using the platforms now to pivot and because I don't want to accuse this man of anything, but I'm just saying, allegedly, based upon what I heard, my perspective is that it's quite possible that you're using this platform now so that you can get money a different way. Okay. And honestly, if that's the case, you're still kind of exploiting the kids. If that's it, that's exploitation too. Even though the kids aren't in your house, you're using this story You're using your story. You're using these sweet, cute, adorable little faces as the face as to how you've been done wrong. And now you want to advocate for other fathers who also have been done wrong. Now, mind you, like I said before, I know a couple guys in particular that were damn good fathers. Okay. But look, all my friends that are fathers actually are good fathers. Otherwise, they wouldn't be my friends. Okay. That's the first thing. But these two individuals in particular, they both raised their kids alone. Okay. From basically from birth, both of them that I'm thinking of. One of which actually is my ex-boyfriend Sherman, who comes on the show, who's been on the show a few times. He'll be back. Sherman, when I met him, he was raising his daughter. He had his daughter basically since she was a baby, and he was raising her by himself. And again, this is a man who had a lot of help, because when we were dating, guess who was helping? Okay. And then he had other women that were like, just because he had a daughter and he was raising a daughter. So there are other women. He did have to lean into his female friendships and girlfriend and, whoever else that could, pour into his daughter. And he was a comedian, so he worked at night. Now he'd be home all day. He would cook, he would clean, he would get the kid off to school and everything. But then at nighttime, he's at a comedy club because he's doing a show, or if he's on the road. So that's how there were women who were friends of his that had become babysitters, and she would either go stay with them or she come stay with me when he's on the road and he's doing whatever. Because men get a lot of help. So it wouldn't surprise me if he would welcome them all back. That means everybody gets something in his mind, right? Now, he says he was giving her money. So that's where she wasn't working, because he was giving her like money. And I said to him, no, that does not make a woman feel secure that at any moment you can A, kick me out, or B, you can withhold money from me because it's not my money. Hell, I can't even go to the store unless I get an Uber or you drive me, because I don't have a driver's license. So I just feel like there's a lot going on here in this situation. Now, I am going to play this little video, okay, that I know came out of our interview. But let me read and see what y'all got in here. Let me see who else. Wait, what'd you say, Bible lady? Let me run out and hit the motherfucking like button before I get cussed out. Thank you. I know your own word. Hey, clutching my pearls. Golden child. Wait a minute, what you say? Them kids would hurt themselves and would offer no comfort. Just filming it was weird. Oh, now, okay. Now I am going to say this too. While I thought the boys were adorable as hell, right? A lot of the stuff seemed contrived. It seemed rehearsed. It seemed coached. Honestly, if you go watch some of the videos, they seem coached. And you saw how even in the video that I just showed, the one little boy, he's constantly looking over at the camera. Like, am I doing good? Like, he's having a conversation with his brother, but he's looking into the camera. And that's almost how every one of those videos are. Just as sharp, pimping kids for content. Yeah. What you say, Lexi? He had the wrong interpretation of I know. I don't know if he thought. I don't know. Shell said, how long has she been trying to get the kids? They say for 4 years. They said for 4 years she's been fighting to get the kids. Zenso said, were the kids the content of the channel? Yes. There are many videos which the kids are the main character. People get another of views when kids and animals are used. Absolutely. They get a lot of views from that, right? And I said, I follow a lot of these families. And now I'm going to tell you, do y'all ever watch The Belief family? Beleaf. I love that family too. I think it's like four. I think they have 4 kids. The father is, I want to say he's a musician and like a music producer or something. He's a musician or something. And they have a whole family, and the whole channel is around their family and teaching them lessons. Now, here's the thing. I never feel like their stuff is rehearsed or planned out. It never feels like that. But when the twins are in the videos, I feel like he's coaching them. He's not just catching them, doing or having a conversation or whatever. He's literally, I feel like they walk through it or whatever. Like when they would get in an argument, like I said, there seems like one of them is a little more mischievous, that's all I'm gonna say, than the other. Okay, like I said, one's more sensitive. And for instance, okay, let me show this again. Hold on. Because I feel like, here, let me show them. So the one in the hat, that's Jerron. That's Jerron Jr. Jerron Jr. seems to be a little bit more independent, and he can just take a hit and keep on pushing kind of thing, right? But the other baby, I always see like he's often crying and upset. Now when Jerron, the one in the hat, when something happens to him, the more sensitive one is very concerned and wants to console Jerron. You know what I'm saying? So even here, like I'm gonna play it again, child, because I need y'all to see. Watch how what's Josh. So Jerron Jr. is the one in the hat who's obviously needing to get tubes in his ears. That's what they're talking about, right? And then the more sensitive one is the one that's asking him about it. And he wants to hug him. And so like, look and watch too how Josh continues to look at the camera. But Jerron is not even fazed by it, to be quiet. I mean, he's worried in his mind. You know what I mean? But he's not worried about the camera. But anywho, here we go. Watch.
I just hope I don't get those tubes in my ears. What are tubes?
See?
Because the floor's out of my ears. Ow! The sun says out. Jared's good.
See?
Oh.
So I just feel like when you see them going through whatever they're going through in the videos, it just oftentimes they're looking at the camera. You know what I mean? So would you say attitude and Tylenol? How you doing? So he really wants us to believe it was because of an old school. Yes, an old school Range Rover. He said that Range Rover was like a 2014 or something. I'm like, no, that don't sound right. And then he went a step further, but he was saying that that when you hear exploitation, it has to do with sex. And I was explaining that's not true. Shay B said, dude was full of ish, and the truth ain't in him. Lord have mercy. I know he said she was in her late 30s, but he made her sound so immature and young. Mm-hmm. And the other thing I said to him was that you chose her, though. Like all this you saying, you chose her. Hey, Leather Shop, I think he lost custody because he continued exploiting the boys after he was ordered to remove all the content. And he still hasn't removed all the content. So it's crazy. Um, My name is that girl said young, naive, vulnerable, and low self-esteem, predator jackpot. And that's my thing too. And that was what I was leading up to too during that conversation with him. Is that okay? So you're saying that all these other guys had abused her before you and after you. How we know you ain't abuser? Because a predator, an abuser, can sniff out naivety, vulnerability, low self-esteem. Okay. Okay, they can pick it all up. If you have low self-esteem and hell, they can smell that from a mile away. And he says I said, how'd you meet her? He said, on the street. I was like, what you mean on the street? Because when he said that at first, I'm like, what does that mean? Like a prostitute? Like, what are you saying? And he was like, no, I mean, she was outside the club. I said, oh, you met her at the club. He said, no, I was walking down the street with my friend and she was standing outside the club. I said, oh, and then you try to holler at her. I said, how long were y'all dating? And he was like, I'm not going to say. And then he said they weren't in a dating relationship. I said, but she lived with you. So, some of the shit just sounds weird. The daycare that he mentioned that cost $4,000, was he working? And if so, what happened to his mother and sister that was able to help? I think I trust and believe the mother and sister probably were helping up until those kids left. You know what I mean? And he wasn't working. He hasn't worked since the boys were born. That doesn't sound well. I shouldn't say that. He hasn't worked since the pandemic. At the beginning of the pandemic is when he stopped working. So in 2020. So he hasn't worked in 4 years. And she's been trying to get the boys for 4 years too. Okay. She seems to be doing well, married, I think. Oh, really? Really? Well, I hope so. Okay. Let me see. Yeah. Gold Child says some of them videos were cringe. The kids yelling at each other, just awkward. It really was, Golden Child. So I didn't see that you said that, but that's how I felt too. I felt like some of this is, I don't know, this feels weird to me. Like he would have them come and stand in front of the fireplace and they're supposed to be walking through a scenario. It seems like it was rehearsed. And now in retrospect, I almost feel they definitely were rehearsed. And maybe he was exploiting them and he really got into like, this is production and here's a scene and this is work. And you know what I mean? Like, I almost feel like that's what was going on. Again, Jerron, don't be mad at me. This is what I'm taking away from the little bit of information that I do have. Okay. So not that he's watching, but I'm just saying. Actually, I might send it to him. And if he wants to come and respond, he can. I popped in on that live during the last 15 minutes of it. Within the first 45 seconds, I knew he was lying by his body language and the way in which he spoke. He spoke in Nesto cursive. And child, everybody kept saying, this Nesto. Because he was giving some Nesto tease a little bit here and there. There were moments when I was like, even going back and watching the interview for myself, I was like, damn, he does remind me a little bit of Nesto, just like, I mean, I'm not saying the man is like a career criminal or nothing crazy like that, but I feel like this girl was a mark. I mean, she was an easy time or something, you know. He could tell she was young, and because she's 6 years younger than him. So she's 30 something now, and they're 6 years old. So she was probably like 29, 30 when they met. And he's already he claimed he was a technician, some sort of he worked for, was it Comcast or something? Or he worked with these different shows as some sort of technician or something. So he was working, and a lot of men like to be in control. They don't want a woman to work. They don't want you'd be surprised. There are men who really want to take care of a woman because they can control them. And I could see her being someone, just based on the profile. I don't know this lady, but based upon the profile that's been shared of her, I could see how she could be pulled into something like that and feel worthless, or feel, actually, one of the text messages said she was made to feel worthless. So anywho, let's get into the video that he made. I want to say the day after our, hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Oh shoot. He's funny. Like, even with this, it's a little rehearsed. But hold on. This is from the day after our interview. So let me stop sharing that. And actually, let me read some more of y'all's comments before I even play it, because hold on. V. Lenore, would you be willing to have a members only show for us to review the video together? Oh yeah, no, actually, you know, I'm going to talk about that too. There's several videos, so you absolutely we can, but this video is only 4 minutes, so I'm just going to play this one. But yeah, we can definitely go and do something like that. I'm open to it. But that reminds me of another idea I have for members only. Let's see what else. I bet the pages in your Bible was turning on their own, Bible lady. Let's see. Hi, Yvonne. You're so right, V. Lenore. My daughter is a social worker here in Canada. Oh, you're in Canada? She says the same thing. The last thing the courts want to do is remove the kids from the home. They don't want to do it. And like I said, even though they do lean a lot of times towards the mother, the bottom line is, in this particular case, if these kids were doing well and they were well adjusted and they've been there the whole time and there's nothing been, you know, going wrong in that home, they would not have just yanked them out and then given him supervised visitation. Now, I think the reason why the visitation is supervised, not because they thought he would do something to the kids, but they may have thought he'd probably be trying to film that. And if they told him to remove them sites and stuff and he ain't doing it, that's probably why that we can't trust you. I mean, I'm just saying that's a possibility. Let's see. Golden Child said he would not allow the kids to see or even speak of their mother and brother in Geron Sr.'s presence. Someone else mentioned that when she would even say something in the chat or say something in the comment section, like, those are all my babies, or this, you know, not saying anything negative, but just saying, oh, my babies, or whatever. Her comments will get deleted, y'all. Now, here's the thing. It really F's up the story if people are supporting you because they think you're the single dad and you're out here just trying to make it and trying to take care of your boys the best way you know how. You won't have no help from the mother, and the mother just up and left when they were 1.5 years. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, it would mess up the story if she is in the comment section, or she is, you know, if they mention her. They said if the boys mention the mother on video, the boys would get in trouble or something, or he would address it. So again, that's allegedly. I don't know. I wasn't there. This is all allegedly. Okay. Oh, my name is not girl. Would you say you know Star? I know someone else who knows Star too. Ask her she want another interview. Now look, yeah, ask her she want to come over here and I want to talk to her. Okay, let me talk to her. Okay, I know someone else knows her too. He was held in contempt. He had to pay the ex $50,000. He is going to be held in contempt again. Yes, he will still pay for old. He still will get paid from old videos that are still up. That's right. That's why he won't put them down. Hi, Danielle. Hey, Dimples Wimples. Yes. Let's see. It was a one night stand without saying it was a one night stand. That's what it sounds like. But you know what? That's what he's saying. How do we even know that? What if it was? Look, you ever been in a situation? Look, I'm a woman and I haven't always been the most secure either. Okay. And I have been in a situationship with someone who I wanted more out of the situation than they wanted, right? And they know that, and they use that to their benefit, okay? And I'm showing them how great a girlfriend I can be, right? I'm gonna prove to him he gonna want to be with me, that kind of thing. You know, he gonna really want to lock it down when he just he's not thinking like that, right? So a lot of times men will lead you to think that it's something that it's not. And maybe that's where this is going. Who knows? Maybe she thought they were working on something. They were building something. It sounds like the woman wants a relationship. And I pray that if she's married now, God bless her. I hope that it works out. I hope she got a good man. I hope she is whole and healed. And I hope that she is the best possible mother that these twins and her other boys can have. All right. My source also mentioned that the mother, because, you know, I did reach out to see if she wanted to interview. And her response specifically was she's aware that a lot of people want to interview her, right? But her attorney has advised her not to interview because they don't want her to get sucked into whatever he's out here doing and saying. I think I could see an attorney saying that. Someone asked me the other night if she wanted the kids so she could get a bag. Well, she doesn't have the kids on social media. Again, as I mentioned the other day, if nothing else, she should get child support. If she has those two kids, she should get child support. She absolutely should. She's entitled. And even if she's married, she should still get child support. She has two other children who apparently are not by whoever she's with in this very moment. Okay. Now, another thing that was very telling, he said that the day that she moved out the house and she left his house, went straight to another guy's house who was an ex-co-worker or whatever, who she ended up getting pregnant by a month later. So he says, allegedly, right? He said that day or the next day, that man called Geron and cussed him clean out and threatened his life. Now, you tell me why anybody would do that if you didn't kick them out. If she wasn't kicked out, why would a man be mad? Why would a man call him, you know, these names and threaten him and whatnot? That sounds like somebody coming to her defense. And if she was abused or bullied or intimidated in any way, some men will intimidate the hell out of a woman but won't say shit to a man. Now, that's just facts on facts. Okay. Some of these men, especially men that might take advantage of a woman like that and want to control a woman like that, it's because they ain't gonna never be able to do those same things with a man. So, Yvonne James said he even lied about the ex getting pregnant 1 month later. That's a lie. Child. That's why I wish I could talk to that lady just so I could understand what is her story, what's her side of it. Hey Denise, he said she's never had her own place to live. She's always lived with a man. Again, she didn't have an education and I know that because he said, I would rather, instead of you getting a job, because she wanted to get a job. And she's saying that's why she got kicked out, because she wanted a job and he said no. And when he was here, he said, well, I didn't want her to get a job because it was going to cost more for her to get a job. But one thing I do know, sometimes a woman needs what a woman needs. And even if it was going to cost her damn near her whole salary, that would give her something else to do, gives her an opportunity to maybe advance herself, even professionally. You don't know, getting a job at a particular place. If she does well in her role, she may be offered advancement opportunities within that organization that might inspire her to want to do more and to be more and to have more, right? A lot of men are not secure with no shit like that. Some men look for a woman who's already a single parent, who doesn't have a college degree. They look for this type of profile to bring them into their space. And if they can lock you down with some kids, see, a lot of times these men, they will get up and go at the drop of a dime. But a mother tends to think about, okay, well, wait, before I go, I need to wash these clothes, or I need to make sure the food is cooked and I done clean this and the kids' clothes is ironed. And I got to do all this shit before I can even walk out the door. And then then you still feel like sometimes the women may feel like I got to ask permission then. Who wants that? But a man thinks, oh, I'm giving her everything. And it's going to cost us too much to get daycare. And daycare is expensive as hell. No doubt about it. And it was probably going to cost an arm and leg. However, he over here doing the videos and stuff, and he's not working. If she got a job, what if she got a job and you still continue to do what you was doing? Because I don't know why. Anyway, I don't know why that's such a big deal, but he kicked her out. That's what she says, because she wanted to get a job. Okay. It's messy. It's just messy as hell. Yes, Bible lady. And his mother lived next door. I think he said a sister or cousin lived a few doors down from there. His other a sister lived 4 miles away. He kept saying, she has all this help. She had an outlet. She could call in. Those are your people. And as soon as she go calling them, talking about she want to go do something, can you watch the kids or whatever? Then all of them, look, it happens. They'll all be back behind the scenes talking like, why she got to go out? What? She don't work. She don't do nothing. Somebody going to have a judgment. They're going to have something to say. People are funny. And all those people were his people, not hers. Yes, Bible lady, Mr. Hurt is hurt, honey. I think he hurt. Okay, so let me play this thing. Bible lady said, her text message solidifies your observation of what really or could have possibly happened versus the bullshit he was trying to sell. I agree, child. Her son, Azarian, because she called him Zari in the text, looked terrified in those earlier Wait. Is that son? Is her oldest son? They're not on his channel, right? They were on her channel. when she had a channel. Is that what you're saying? Uploaded before the mom was put out. You think those okay, you gonna make me go out here and look, child, see if there's one out there. I feel like the boys, the twins, I'm not trying to be funny. I always felt like the boys looked terrified. I'm not trying to be funny. Them little boys looked like they was scared of him. And he never came across as affectionate towards him. But then I try not to judge it too much because I'm like, well, maybe he's a man doing it the man way. I don't know. But I always felt like they look like they constantly are looking to him like, are we doing good? Is he gonna be okay? You know what I mean? It just always felt like that to me. He only wanted the mom to come back to save face for social media and to continue to make money off those babies. Hi, Rain. Rain said, I believe he had to have his way. He used his power and financial situation to manipulate. Yeah. I mean, it's possible. Yeah, he wanted her to come back into the home so he can continue to make money. Yeah, everybody seems to have that same thought. Hi, Starfish and Coffee. They are both doing a number on each other. Tit for tat. And the boys are, how do we know that? I don't know that we know that. If I can't see my sons, I'm not in the house with them, right? And I can't see my sons. I'm just saying, I'm not saying this is the case, but let's take this as an example, possibility. My sons are with their father. He won't let me see them. I can't get them. You know, it's a problem, right? I'm fighting to get my kids. Maybe I don't have the money. Maybe I don't have the knowledge. Maybe I'm made to feel powerless. Therefore, I think I'm powerless. And maybe she just didn't have the right resources at her disposal. Maybe he was doing a number on her behind the scenes. Who knows? But that's not somebody who's trying to do tit for tat. That's somebody who wants their kids. Now, I'm not saying that's the case. I'm saying if that is the case, that's not tit for tat. And because we don't know the whole thing and we'll never know the whole thing, I don't know that I see it tit for tat. Because here's the other thing. He's out here doing interviews. He's out here still putting out videos. He's out here talking about his kids. He's crying on screen on a regular basis. He cried here. Now, while I would be a basket case if my son was snatched from me, absolutely. But crying every single time, like it's almost as if you waited to get emotional and then said, let me hit the live button. Because when I tell you I've seen him cry multiple times on Instagram, on YouTube, on Facebook, he crying every time we turn around, y'all. He is crying. And he came over here and he almost cried over here. Okay. Didn't his response in one of the messages say if and when she came back, they would have to spin the narrative? That's exactly right. He's over here saying, you can't say that I kicked you out. Not stop lying. I never kicked you out. Why are you telling these lies? No. You can't keep saying that. You can't say that. You know that will kill their page, is what he said in the text message. You know that will kill that will ruin their whole page. Ciao. So, wait. Make sure. Okay. Let's see what else. He's using social media to tell his fake story and tears for GoFundMe. Yeah, because the whole story now is fathers are not treated fairly, and the system automatically takes the mother's word for it. Let me tell you something. I mentioned that I think I mentioned out here that, well, basically I have a friend who has a child that is her son at this point. Is her son, okay? But really the son is her cousin, okay? So her cousin had a drug problem and had multiple kids. And these kids were getting taken out of her home, right? So when the son that she has now, who, by the way, I want to say he's like 12 or something now. He's been with her since like he was a year old, okay? But the cousin, the mother, the biological mother of that child, basically had a drug problem, and he was born addicted to crack. And they removed all the kids from her home, and she didn't have custody of any of them. I don't know how many she had, but she had multiple kids. She didn't have custody of any of them. And when this baby came in the world, my friend's mother thought she could take him. She took him. The courts gave her custody, made her a foster parent. But because she's up in age and he had some special needs because he was born addicted to drugs, because of the mother. The mother, all of her rights were removed. She, as badly as CPS wants to put families, keep them together and see if there's a way that they can make it work and work with the parent, whoever it is, work with that parent to make sure that there's a safety plan in place and, that they are really doing what they're supposed to do. They are going to remove those kids. And do you know gave that woman had no more rights to any of her kids. And then she got pregnant. She might have more kids now because she got pregnant not too long after the baby was removed. So I bring that up to say that's a mother and they didn't let her have the kids. Why is it that this mother was able to finally get those kids and you, sir, only get 1 hour a week supervised? I'm sorry. I feel like there's more to this story, sir. There's more to this shit, okay? Wait, what'd you say? Bible lady. He was trying to be selective, but did a piss poor job at it because everyone saw straight through everything, single thing that he said. Oh, yes. Wait, and it sends people to his page to watch the videos and continue. That's right. He's talking about how wonderful of a father he is. How they see those little boys are adorable. Okay. So if people want to go out and see, oh, he was doing this, because that was the other thing he said. Did my kids ever look like they were being abused, or did they ever look like they were hungry, or did they look like this or that? I said, sir, I can't take what you show us in a video and make a determination as to what's going on in that house. I mean, you're taking video, you're editing video. You're not going to put out some bullshit out here for us to see, because in the same way you told that lady that she can't continue to say that you put her out because that would ruin the page, it would also ruin the page if folks thought you were keeping these kids from their mother. It would also take money from the page if people understood more details of the story. Okay. So anywho, with that said, let's go ahead and take a look Hold on one second. Starfish and Coffee said, I hope the mother is not repeating the same mistakes with another man and has financial independence. That's what I'm saying. I really hope so too. Um, Someone in the chat said they think she may be married. I think Yvonne may have said that, or someone said it. Um, Love the Shop said it sure did. Some of the things they would say were not words of a 4 and 5 year old. Yes, Black Rose. I love the Belief family. I think they are so freaking adorable. And that baby, I just want to chew on his cheeks. Okay. Can I just chew on his cheeks? And here's the thing. I'll be honest with y'all. And let me say this. And I'll show y'all the Belief family if y'all don't know them. Honey, that baby in the Belief family, he looks exactly how I pictured my son looking like when I was pregnant. I was like, oh, I'm going to have a cute little chocolate drop like that. That's exactly what I pictured, y'all. I got a cutie pie, but he ain't chocolate, okay? He ain't chocolate. I was like, ooh, I want a chocolate. Oh, child. Anyway, hey, the real VB. He came on to share that GoFundMe, but he saw the chat wasn't. No, he ain't see the chat. I'm certain he didn't see the chat, the real VB. As a matter of fact, he's not even familiar with StreamYard. I could tell he wasn't looking at that chat. Because if he saw that damn chat, but he saw the chat wasn't buying what he was selling. So now we were looking for gossip. No, I was looking for gossip. Because I got real questions, a mess. It's called creating content, V. That's right. That's right. Yeah. I've thought about reaching out to them too for an interview. I really like them. LaGuardia Cross. I don't know LaGuardia Cross. But I watched several families. But the Belief family, they used to crack me up. That little baby, he's so freaking cute. I love him. Love to shop. I didn't want to call the children names. But that Jerron Jr. seemed a little aggressive. Like, I feel like you're going to have to watch him, okay? Because I feel like he'd be lightweight terrorizing the other baby. I'm just saying, he must be the older one. I don't know by how many minutes, but you can tell he's hard, child. He hard. Okay. Say he brought the Range Rover as the result of a GoFundMe. Oh, that's right. He said that, in which he claimed his Audi was stolen. However, the mother presented proof that girl, I know you lying. I know you lying. She presented proof that the car was repossessed, but he came out here and said it was stuck. There was let me find that video because he was interviewed. Wasn't he interviewed by a news station talking about that car? Oh my God, Sean, I know you lying. Don't make me go looking for that too in a minute. Wow, this too much. See, this too much. This too much. He better hop his butt on some of these gigs apps or these gig apps and do grocery delivery and Uber in that Range Rover. Okay. Make that thing work for you. Exploit that damn Range Rover. Okay. Send that shit out to work. Okay. Cam Lewis said when he said he met her on the street, he was trying to. I'm telling you, I was like, wait, what? On the street? See, sometimes when people say shit like that, they're telling on themselves too, because let's say he did meet her like that. Why are you picking up women off the street? You know what I'm saying? Why would you, whatever he was trying to insinuate, like it wasn't even all that kind of thing, Hi, Southside Chi-Town. Oh, what was this? And he said they'd be asking him to film them. I find that hard to believe. Yeah, they probably did because they knew that would make their father. Oh, well, that's a good point, but I doubt it. I don't know, child. I feel like I don't know. I don't know what I don't know, child. Oh yeah, what you say, Jackson Tabasco? Dora the Explorer goes to the plantation to tell folk we're gossiping when we are trying to get the truth. That's why I was thinking, like, did he drive? Because I didn't know what plantation. When I saw him walking, when I play this video, he's on a plantation. When he did the interview with me, he said something about we're on this plantation. I thought he meant figuratively. Then when I saw this video, I was like, what plantation is it? Maybe he was saying he was on a plantation then. Maybe he was like vacationing or something in North Carolina at a plantation. Because they ain't got no plantations in Maryland, do they? Or do they? Maybe they do. I don't know. They could, I guess. They got plantations in Maryland? I don't know. That don't sound right. But something ain't right. Just as Shar, thank you for becoming a member, honey. I appreciate that. Okay. So all right. So let me wait a minute. I'm gonna get to this video in a minute. And why did he keep getting bigger houses? Put the money in the trust. That's why I asked him, where did the money go? Like, where's the money? And if all the money is going towards your expenses, that's exploitation. Because the truth is, at least half of the money should have been going into a trust for them kids at a minimum. I'm not saying, like, when you think about a Jackson 5, right? We wouldn't have a Michael if it wasn't for Joe. Joe crazy as hell. Joe was hard as fuck, okay? But Joe also made some stars, right? And their mother was there to give them some balance as well. Did the kids bring home the income? Yes, but everybody was kind of working, and I didn't hear that any of them were really going broke. Honestly, I want to say maybe Randy had some money issues at one point, maybe. I don't know, but I never really heard about none of them Jacksons really being broke. And think about it. They were, when Michael left, and think about the girls too. I've never really heard anybody saying that they were all broke. I'm just saying that. And the Jacksons weren't really doing as much once Michael left as they were before he was there. You know what I'm saying? So somebody was doing something right about that money then. I can't make sense of this. He loves to show off his neighborhood. He's paying $3,800 to rent a house in an upscale neighborhood front. Yeah, he probably doesn't want to move. But yeah, he wasn't man enough to address any issues he had with the interview directly with you. Yeah. But he cried. He was hurt. He was hurt when he was here. Okay. What she said, she didn't want to have the babies because she knew she wasn't his type, but he probably kept pressuring her. Yeah. All right, let me go ahead and play this video. All right, let me bring that down. Okay, let's listen.
When will we do better? We grew up being abused, being beat with the belt, getting beat with extension cords, and for some reason we laugh about it. So when a child is abused, we really don't think much of it these days. It's like, oh, it wasn't that bad. Those beatings made me stronger. I thought we were supposed to learn from our mistakes and want to do better. You know what that's called? Slave mentality. And it's so sad how many of us have this. We're so busy worrying about what the next person said or what happened instead of finding out the right information when it's right in front of our faces.
Is it?
But instead, we rather gossip. As a child, I also got spankings. But you know what I learned from that? To do better. You can communicate with your kids. They don't have to fear you. Do you know where we get this from? Can you take a guess? My sons were abused neglected. Child Protective Services was called on their mother, not by me, but by caseworkers. And for some reason, I'm still being asked, did you kick their mother out of your home? Which makes no sense.
Hold on. And before I play the rest, it's only, a couple more minutes, but he did mention that the kids were reported by the school. But here's the thing. Like I mentioned to him, there was a baby I had fallen in love with. I met her when she was 6 weeks old, and it got to a point where I had her every other weekend and sometimes every weekend. Like I loved that little girl. I loved her so much. And her mother knew it and, was happy to send her my way because she had other kids. As a matter of fact, she had an older child and she had 2 older children and had just given birth to a set of twins, all by different fathers. Okay. Well, I shouldn't say all. The oldest child was by one guy. The next 2 kids were by a different guy. And then the twins were by a third guy. Okay. She was overwhelmed. She was also a nurse. Actually, she was working at that point as a nurse. And when that little girl told me what had transpired in her home, her mother had custody of her. And the father lived in another city. Okay. Lived still in the state of Ohio, but lived in a different city. And when the baby explained what had happened, because she begged me not to take her home. She was always like that. She loved being with me. She couldn't wait till I came to get her because, and part of it, I felt like, oh, it's because I spoil her and we have fun and she gets all of my attention. But probably when she's at home or with, other grandparents, she's competing with a lot of other kids for attention. And her mom is tired and mom just had twins and, all this other stuff. So I was happy to take her. And I think I always felt like, oh, she just wants to be with me because she knows I'm going to take good care of her. She's going to eat good. We're going to sit and have fun and we're going to go to the park and we're going to go here and we're going to do. And she just had a blast with me. But on this particular weekend, she begged me not to take her home. And long story short, when I finally got her to tell me why she didn't want to go home, and all I will say is what she shared with me, a 3-year-old would never, ever know. Period. A 3-year-old would never come up with this story. And when I went to the mother, I think got scared because before I went to the mother, I called my ex who works for Children's Services. And I said, this is what the baby told me. What do I do? He said, you got to report that. I said, but what if, and let me say this. What she told me at first wasn't what I learned later. Okay. Initially, she told me one thing and I felt a way about it. And when I took her home, I didn't tell the mother right away. I called him and he said, you got to report it. He said, well, this is what you need to do. He said, you need to talk to the mother, tell her what the baby said. And then have her tell you what the safety plan is going to be to ensure that this doesn't continue, right? And I was like, I was dreading because a part of me felt like if I say this, she may not let this baby come back over here, you know? And I had to get my mind right to even have that conversation. But I took her home on a Monday morning before I went to work. And I talked to him. And then I worked for a nonprofit, and we had a social worker that was, on staff. And I went to the social worker and I said, look, this is what I've learned. This is what the baby said. What do I do? And she said the same thing he told me, right? So because I was sick to my stomach about it, I called her back and said, you know what? Let me go get my baby again. I'm coming to get my baby. Because I felt like, let me buy some time. Let me get her out that house for a few more days and figure out how I'm going to do this, right? And I didn't. And then when it was time for me to take her back home again, she was with me like 4 days straight. And when I was about to take her back home on the next Sunday, she cried and she said, she was like, please, because she called me mama, okay? And I never thought I would ever be anybody's mama, okay? I'm too fly to be mama. But when this baby let mama flow out her mouth, she could call me mama, all right? She's like, mama, please don't take me. Please don't make me go home. And then she told me explicit details of something that transpired in that home. And I was sick to my fucking stomach. And at that point, he said, look, you're going to have this conversation or I'm going to report it. And I said, oh God, okay. So he said, look, you either had a conversation with her or you call and anonymously if you're uncomfortable with that. He said, but something got to give because she can't be in that house no more. And I said, okay. So when I went to the mother and I said to her, this is what the baby told me. Now I'm here to help you. If you want her to stay with me until you figure out what you're going to do with your other kid, that's fine. But if I don't understand what this safety plan is going to look like, I'm going to have to call CPS. And she started crying because the baby told me she had told her mama. And the mama didn't take any action when the baby told her. So it wasn't like I was informing her of something she didn't already know. She started crying when I told her, and I felt as if she was crying because now someone else knows what's going on in the house. And I told her, I said, well, look, she can still, come stay with me tonight. You tell me what you want to do, da-da-da-da-da. She said, okay. So when I dropped her off in the morning, because I said, if you're going to, because she was a nurse, so she would work like a 12-hour shift, and then she'd be, sleepy and tired, and she got twins at home. Okay. This baby 3, the one I got is 3. Now you got these little babies. They like 6 to 8 months at this point. And you got these little babies, you tired, you're nursing. It's a lot, right? And I said, now I'll take her with me. And once you get off work, I can bring her in the morning as long as you're there, with her. Because here's the other thing I learned, that the baby was sleeping in the same room with the other kid. And that's where the problem started. So I told her, we need to talk through this. But until you figure this out, I will keep her with me. I have to work during the day. I'll come get her when I get off work. And then, you can go to work or do what you need to do. And, we can talk about what's going to happen after that. She was like, okay. So the next morning when I brought the baby back and I called to say I'm coming to get her, I took her back in the morning And then when I got off work, I was gonna come pick her up. She was like, no, that's okay. Like, basically, I never got to see the baby ever again. So I told her in that moment, I said, you understand that you're forcing my hand. And she said, that's fine. Okay. So I had to report it. And mind you, when she told me that story, I made sure that I got a tape of it. And I told CPS I had the tape. And CPS asked me for it, and I sent it to them. And she never wanted to hear it. And neither did anyone in the family want to hear it. Yet that baby ain't lived with her since. Now you tell me how that happens. See, yes, they want the kid to be with the mother, but if the mother is not providing a safe space for the kids, they are not going to put that baby with the mother. And that's why his story just doesn't add up to me, because I know for a fact that if the school was reporting this and these kids were in her care when they're saying these things, or the kids are being neglected and all this shit, if that's the case, then they're not going to snatch them from your house, put them with her, and then only give you 1 hour supervised. It doesn't make sense, people. But okay, I'm sorry, y'all. But this shit fired me up. And I've been upset about it ever since. But let's listen.
Sense to me. Of course, that's a no. But we're more concerned about the gossip than protecting the children. What kills you doesn't make you stronger, just creates more trauma. It's not a laughing matter. It's not a joke. My sons and I don't have 1 billion views on social media for spreading gossip, but because we spread love. I'm a role model for my children. So I speak into them what I want them to be. Back in these days, they beat us into what they wanted us to be. When will we do better? When it's too late? Or will we start doing what we need to do to protect these children? Not just my children, all children. All children deserve both parents, mother and father. But most importantly, they deserve safe, loving, nurturing environments. When will men stop being monsters? We could have all the facts in the world and still try to find another reason for something happening. My sons were ripped away from their home because of our social media. I was accused of exploiting my children. By giving my sons the best education, being home 24/7, having family, having friends, and putting God first. I'm not the only father that's going through this. There's hundreds of thousands of us. We talk about the deadbeat dads, but we never say anything bad about a mother. And I'm not asking you to, but it goes both ways.
I can't tell, Jerron. It feels like you want us to say something bad about this mother. You said she's neglecting the kids. You're saying that they come to school with the same clothes on that they've had for 4 days. You said they're hungry every time you pick them up. Or every time you see them. I hear nothing positive about this woman. That's negative, Jerron. If the kids are in her care and when they go to school they ain't eating, they look like they ain't had no clean clothes and they're being neglected, then what more could you say that's worse than that? I mean, it makes no sense. Okay, not mad.
There's so many programs for single mothers, even in custody battles. Fathers have none, literally none. We make up every excuse for a woman, and none of them excuse a child being abused or neglected. So stop asking what happened.
What?
And let's talk about what we're going to do to bring.
Wait a minute. How do we stop asking what happened, Jerron? How do you get people to support you if you don't want us to understand what the hell happened? Why am I going to support you if I don't know why the kids were taken out of your care? You said CPS was called on the mother, not CPS was called on you. So if CPS was called on the mother and they decided, oh, okay, then we better snatch the boys up and make them stay with her full time then. That doesn't make any sense. And you don't want us to ask legitimate questions, but you want people to give money to your GoFundMe? Come on now. That doesn't make sense, sir.
Bring the boys home. And the other children that are being alienated from their fathers. Any loving parent does what's in the best interest of their children. Keeping them away from their father is not in their best interest. But society still wants to ask why. Why did you guys break up? Forget the abuse. Forget the neglect. Why did you guys break up? And it all goes back to the same thing again, the slave mentality. I refuse to let my sons be a statistic. My sons no longer talk to their grandmother, their godmother, their cousins, their classmates, their friends. And it's all because of the family courts. Wonder where did all this stem from? When will we?
Well, wait a minute, Jerron. I'm confused as to how any of this has to do with slavery. Let's start there. Okay. I don't know. I understand about the spankings and the whoopings and all that shit. Okay, I get that. What's that got to do with you though? And what's that got to do with this? And what's that got to do with them boys and they being with their mama? What? And why don't they talk to their grandmother and stuff no more? Why won't the grandmother call the mama and see how her grandkids is doing? I'm just asking. Why won't the godmother? Why won't she reach out? Or are they so much on your side that they're not on the side of the kid? And are you so focused on yourself that you're not trying to just let this be a safe space now for the kids to thrive under these circumstances so that you can be present in their lives? They have their mother. They have the best of both worlds. You had them alone for 4 years. Let her have her kids too. Maybe that's it. And why don't y'all see if there's a way y'all can work together so that the kids have everybody loving on them? Why does it have to be either or? That's too much. Sir, your story is just making me mad now. Just makes me mad. But yeah, so he's mad. Hey, Black but not bitter. He's mad. I obsessed with the mess. He's mad that I ask questions about what happened. Come on, yo. The hell? But you said this is more common than people know. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Dimples Wimples. My trigger warning. Child, I know that's right. Because this shit just triggered me. It just took me down the path. I ain't seen my baby. That was that was right before the pandemic. So I ain't seen that baby in 5 years. I often think about her. There isn't a week. I'll say that. I may not think about her every day, but I think about her every week. And I often wonder if she even remembers me. I'm thinking she probably doesn't, because she has to be like 8 years old at this point. And, you know, I know that she's with her father, and I'm sure she's taken care of. And because I will say this about her dad, I didn't know him. He didn't live in the same city, but he would come get his babies because he was the father of her. And she has a brother about 4 years older than, or 3 years older than her. And he would come and get his 2 kids and keep them mugs for weeks. I was like missing my baby. Okay. But what I did know, and mind you, he was a single parent. He had another child too that was older. No, or younger. No, he had another child that was older. And he had his other child and these 2 kids. And he had help because he had a mother, and I don't know who else, but his mother helped as well. But that boy came and got his daughter and his son all the time, as much as, you know, he could, and would keep them. And they always seemed happy. And actually, The son stayed there. And I knew, because I asked my friend, the CPS person, I was like, well, they're going to, because I was like, I hope that he said, look, because I was like, what if she coaches her or threatens her not to say anything? Because I was scared she was going to get in trouble for telling me everything she told me. And he said, don't worry about that. He said, they are skilled. They know exactly how to ask a question to ensure that the child hasn't been coached. And I was like, okay. He's like, don't worry about that. He's like, they got that. And they removed her, put her with the father until the investigation. And I want you to know she ain't been back since. And I know that for a fact. Now that I know for a fact. And so the consolation, the thing that the one thing that gave me some peace was that I knew that at least if the only reason I had come into her life was to protect her and to get her out of that situation, then I have to be okay with that, because nobody else was close enough to that baby for her to tell. And the rest of the family was in denial about it. And you know what the first thing they said when it happened? They act like I was trying to take the baby. That like I had put words in her mouth. I said, the fuck? I was like, it doesn't even work like that. They're not gonna put the baby with me. She has a whole father. She has grandparents on both sides. There were options for the baby. They're not gonna, I'm not telling this to keep your baby. I'm telling you this so that you can protect your baby. And I understand that both of these babies are your babies, but one is vulnerable to the other. And the other has a problem. And you need to check that shit. Because if you don't check that shit now, worse shit's gonna happen. So, anywho, by the way, I didn't see that. Know Your Own Worth. Thank you so much for gifting those memberships. Thank you, whoever got those memberships from Know Your Own Worth. Please thank her in the chat. Thank you so much, honey. Hey, Adores. What you say? Nigga looks like what? Like a sentient thumb. First of all, this is why I said too. Look at here. I'm gonna play it. We ain't got to listen to it. But look, the angles in which you're seeing, I'm like, he must be short, because I feel like he's real close to the ground. Like, wait, look, don't you look short? Are you short, sir? And if you are short, is that why you bullying that lady? Were you abusing that lady, child? That child will never forget what you did for her. I don't know that. She was a baby. You know, she was 3 years old. She was smart. She was sweet and funny. And as a matter of fact, I was thinking about her earlier today, because I was thinking to myself, I just wonder would I recognize her if I saw her in the store or something? Would she remember me? Because I didn't know the father or a way to even get in touch with the father to let him know, that I was the person that called, and that if he had needed anything, I was here. But it took my friend saying to me, Val, you just got to know that God put you in that baby's life for a reason. And if that's the reason, then that's got to be good enough. You know what I'm saying? So I thank God that that she's not in that situation. And I just pray that the other child doesn't find themselves in prison at some point, and that somebody got her, him, actually it was a boy, the help he needed. Because, anyhow, but think you know your own worth. That baby was blessed for having you. Don't forget. I will never forget, but anywho. So anyway, so the shit is triggering as hell. Okay. It's triggering as fuck. And I think that's why I just kind of got even more angry about it. The more I started listening and learning about what the mother is saying and what she's saying the experience has been. And it's just a damn shame. That's all. Oh, Black no man, what you talking about? I think he was the pee boy in his classroom. Jesus, Lord have mercy. Cam Lewis, that baby was traumatized. That baby remembers that in you. I hope so. So basically that's that. I'm more than happy for us to go to do a members only live. We can do that Sunday. Tomorrow I have an all-day event, all day long. I'll be working from dawn to dusk. Okay. So I may not go live tomorrow night, but Sunday I definitely wouldn't mind us kind of going through. We can go through some videos and so you guys can kind of see some of the stuff we're talking about. But actually, let me look real quick if I can at least find one like when they're younger, and then we'll get out of here. Yeah, because if you see now, I'm looking at he's doing a lot of podcasting. He's doing a lot of interviews and stuff. Wait a minute. Oh, well, maybe he did take some down though. Because I don't really see. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll look for some. Oh, let's look at this though. Wait a minute. This is the news. The White House is trying to speak out. This is our story. Was this the one? Now this one is. Where's I saw one of the news interviews that I think when. Oh, okay. Let's listen to this interview. Well, it's not, well, yeah, it's a news one. But this isn't what I was looking for though. But he's getting in front of people. Let's see. This was, I guess, July.
This next story involves a family you may have seen before. A Maryland father and his two boys, his twin boys, known as the Hurt twins. They're known to thousands of people for their viral videos.
But a recent court order claims those children have been exploited. And as a result, the boys' time with their father is now limited to 1 day a week in a supervised location.
Our Larry Miller spoke with the dad who says the allegations against him are far from the truth. Here's tonight's special report, Fighting for the Hurt twins.
We about to take over the internet.
I'm not only a father, I'm a dad. Like, I'm nurturing. I love my sons, and I just want the best for them.
Emotions run deep for Jerron Hurt Sr., the father of twin boys known to a legion of online followers as the Hurt twins. Some of the videos that remain online had thousands of views. Because the twins are minors, we have decided to blur their faces.
Can I drink some of this?
Yes, you may.
Hurt is fighting to get full custody of the twins after a judge said the boys are being exploited by their dad. His visitation was limited to 1 day a week in a supervised location. After a hearing earlier this year, Judge Nancy Papora awarded the twins' mother, April Johnson, full custody of the boys. In her opinion, Judge Papora wrote Hurt's judgment was alarmingly poor and is fraught with exploitation which is not in their best interest and presents a danger to their safety. The primary concern for the judge, those videos of the children online. Some show the children engaged in typical play. Others, described in court, show the children in sensitive situations like medical appointments. In addition to generating thousands of views, those videos also generated considerable income from subscriptions, ad sales, and donations for Hurt.
Growing up, my uncles, my mom and aunt will tell you, like, we always recorded. It was just something we did when we had, cookouts, family functions. We all sat around, like, later on after the event, and we would watch on the big box TV.
Wanna make a raisin hot chocolate?
So when I became a dad, I wanted to do the same thing. I started recording it, and I was just putting it online for our family. When the pandemic started, we went viral, and literally the next day I lost my job.
During the hearing, Judge Papora asked Hurt if he thought those public videos compromised the children's safety. We asked Hurt that same question. He told us this.
Those memories that I was putting online became profitable. So it was nothing different. Like, I'm just sharing our memories with the world.
Hurt explained those memories have allowed him to care for the boys, providing a home and an education in an elite private school.
We spread love and joy all around the world. It's just a day in our life. We may go outside for a walk and I record 5 or 10 minutes, and I've learned how to take those emotional moments and show the world how children can solve their problems.
The twins' mother declined our request for an interview, but said in a statement she had no comment and asked for privacy for herself and her boys. But the boys' mother was clear in a counter complaint she filed that the children were being exploited by Hurt in an attempt to raise money for himself and gain internet fame.
Is it possible that things may have gone too far?
No, I don't think anything went too far. This is the same way you have child actors and stuff like that. And the thing is, we're not even acting. Like, this is just our life.
Judge Papora ordered Hurt to remove all video content of the children from online. Accounts managed by Hurt show videos of the boys were removed. Since the judge's order, Hurt reached out to his followers for help, posting videos like this.
There are more dads just like me that love their children and would love to show up for their children.
There's a change.org petition demanding Hurt's custody be reinstated. It has more than 7,000 signatures. Hurt even teamed up with Dr. Bernard Jennings, who was instrumental in advocating for the passage of Florida's Good Dad Act. The law gives unwed fathers more rights in the health, education, or religious decisions of their children without a court order. Jennings wants to see it passed nationwide.
There are good dads out there that are suffering silently because they don't have time with their children. There are children that are suffering. There is statistical analysis that will show you that children that have time with both parents fare better.
As for Hurt, he's hoping an appeal will grant him more time with his children. In the meantime, he continues to post videos online, but without the boys.
I'm trying everything I can. I have to use our platforms. I have to speak out. I have to tell the injustices that's going on. I have to tell about them ruining families.
Larry Miller, WUSA 9.
Child. Hold on one second, yeah. When Jennifer said he looks like a drinker, and the fact that he lost the kids is pushing him over the edge. And I don't know if he's a drinker or what, but there were people in the chat on that night. Again, I didn't see these comments until I watched the replay, but they were hinting at drug abuse, allegedly. Like, obviously, I don't know that. I don't know nothing about this, okay? I don't know that. But that's what they had said, okay? Somebody was saying that that there was drug abuse or something, and he was not passing drug tests. Now, I don't know. That never came up in the interview. I don't know that to be the case. Again, how would I know? But that's what was stated. So I can't say for sure. Definitely can't say for sure. But again, this is all allegedly. All right. It is allegedly. All right. So that's that on that. Let's see here. So yeah, that's really pretty much that's all I have, y'all. We've been out here 2 hours and 10 minutes. But yeah. Any questions? Hey, Fedora. Yes. Yes, there were those asking about his addictions. What? Jackson Tabasco said police reports records may reflect the real issue. Well, he never sent me what he said he was going to send me. I never got that. Okay. Remember that? Oh, the swelling in his face looks like alcoholism. Really? Oh, maybe. You know what I was going to ask? A lot of people were, you can find videos of them at Google, on Google. Oh, Jackie, this is a good point. Jackie said child actors have protections. That's right. They have protections because of Gary Coleman's family, people like that. Because at the end of the day, the kid is out here working. And then for what? At the point when they finally become an adult, if you've spent all the money, that is exploitation, right? So that's why child actors can only work but so many hours. They have to have certain things on set. And their money has to be handled in a certain way. And thank God for that, okay? Lord have mercy. But yeah. Let me see. I don't know. We got to. I don't know. So, anywho, that's all I got for y'all tonight. Well, again, like I say, if I come live tomorrow, we might do some Nesto stuff tomorrow night if I still have some energy, because I think I'm gonna be outside most of the day, and God only knows how hot it's gonna be. So, otherwise, we can do Nesto on Sunday, and we can do our members only, and we can dig deeper into this story and the family. All right, guys. Thank you to everyone. Thank you to all the new members. Okay, yeah. Thank you to all of the new members. Thank you, Know Your Own Worth, for gifting members. Thanks to those who super chatted. Those of you that just showed up and gave a click and a view, and I hope you gave a like. Okay, hell, give a dislike. I don't give a damn. Just do something over there. Okay, damn. All right, and share, please. All right, and thank you. All right, y'all. Well, thank you for kicking it with me and allowing me to get emotional talking about this mess. But it is very triggering. And so, Mr. Hurt, let's be very clear, sir. If you want what's best for those kids, the best thing is to let this shit go and just ensure that you can support this mother. Make sure you're sending food over there. If you're thinking that they're not eating, send some food over there. Send some clothes over there. Call. Ask the mom, can you talk to them on the phone? Call them regularly. Do that and make the most of those supervised visits. And then hopefully you guys can come to some sort of agreement where you both can just support one another, because it shouldn't be about you. It shouldn't be about her. It should be about those babies. All right. And honestly, it should be about all the babies, because this shit can be traumatic for the other children as well. All right. So you should just be making sure that, this woman has all the support she needs, because that's what's best for the kids. All right. Okay. Because the kids don't give a damn about private school, and they don't give a damn about a Range Rover, and they don't give a damn about a big house. They just give a damn about their parents loving on them And there's nothing a kid loves more than seeing their parents getting along. And then one last note, let me say this. My son's father and I, we have a great relationship. My son will be 33 this year, okay? Yet my relationship with his father is so great that even though we have an adult child, we spend time as a family together to this day. And when he came, he's been on this show twice. And when he came this last time, he talked about how close I am with his wife, how I stay with them Christmas. He and I and his wife have a wonderful relationship. Wonderful relationship. And we love each other. He sang at both of my parents' funerals. His wife was at their funerals. I mean, we are family. And just because he's an adult, we haven't stopped treating each other like family. You can have that too, Jerron. But you got to decide it ain't about you. And it ain't about her. It's about them. And trust me, the kids will thank you for it. Because my son was like a kid in a candy store when his father and I were in the same place at the same time, laughing and talking and doing outings and that kind of thing. It can be done. Trust me, it can be done. So thank you, everybody. I love y'all to pieces and ain't shit you can do about it, all right? Until tomorrow or Sunday. Smooches.
Boom.